Ocean Eden Bay. I am back for the third time. I would not be back unless this hotel was awesome. Last time I ranked it almost as good as Excellence. Unfortunately, that video never saw the internet. All the footage was just evaporated into the ether. I had to come back and do this video. It's one of the most underrated, affordable, vibey, fun, all-inclusive resorts in Jamaica. Things have changed since I've been here last. Had they changed for the better or for the worse? We will find out. This is Ocean Eden Bay, Jamaica. Ocean Eden Bay, an all-inclusive, adults-only resort located in the Falmouth area of Jamaica, approximately 45 minutes from the Montego Bay airport. The second I walked in, there was a welcome drink in my hand. The name, the color, the taste, the ingredients, they perfectly reflected the property and location. Privilege check-in was only a few steps after that. Privilege is the premium upgrade at Ocean Eden Bay, and it grants access to exclusive areas of the property such as VIP sections at the beach and pool. It also expands dining and menu options, and has other benefits such as a personalized check-in. Privilege played a vital role in my Ocean Eden Bay experience, and you will see why throughout the video. As I finished the check-in process and headed towards my room, I was reminded why I came back to this property for a third time. Ocean lobbies are usually spacious, bright, and comfortable, and Ocean Eden Bay is no exception with the towering floor-to-ceiling windows, the atrium skylight, and the oversupply of seating. But unlike Ocean Riviera Paradise and Ocean El Faro, Ocean Eden Bay is polished and modern. It's the nicest ocean property I've seen so far. The Steakhouse indeed is the most popular restaurant over here on the Eden Bay side, but that doesn't mean it's always going to be busy, nor the most popular restaurant overall. And that's because when you stay over here, you do get access to all the dining options on the Coral Springs side as well. And there are some decent choices, specifically Sugarcane, the Italian restaurant, and the buffet. I feel the Steakhouse is just always the default most popular choice, but it's definitely not the best on the Eden Bay side, and I definitely want to save those for later in the video. The Steakhouse is really about the vibes, but I like the layout. It's basically a lot of windows, so it's fresh. Those Jamaican vibes kind of radiate through. It's a really upbeat, fun feel. My server was really helpful and warm. She was like, "Are you sure that's all you want? You gotta try this." She made a great recommendation on the sweet corn, and when I was cutting it, I dropped it on the ground like a rookie. And then after that, she was so cute, she brought out 2 more, just in case the same thing happened again. And I did like the bartender special drink. I have no idea what it was. It was gorgeous, it was delicious, and I liked the mystery flakes that were suspended throughout the drink. It's 1:30, so I need to rush to get down to the pool, and here is why. Check out this weather today. There has been nothing like it since I've been here. It is glorious. This is the perfect Jamaican day. I declare today pool day at Ocean Eden Bay. While I head down to the pool, let me show you the room. This is a junior suite, which is the base room at Ocean Eden Bay. Whether you choose privilege or not, all junior suites have this layout. Right off the entry is the bathroom. For the money, ocean bathrooms are great. This one is spacious and features an onyx dual vanity. The water closet adds privacy and makes the space feel more upscale, and the grand 2-person shower has dual rain heads, a feature normally reserved only for elite resorts. In between the bathroom and the main room is the most important part of any all-inclusive room, and that would be the minibar. Like the bathroom, Ocean also does this really well. Up top there are single-serve coffees, drip coffees, and teas, and below there is a relatively wide assortment of sodas, mixers, refreshments, and the cool mini shooters. The main area has beach house vibes with the wood floor, white colorway, wood beam ceilings, and aquatic decor. 2 queen-size beds allow up to 4 people to stay in one room, and a separate work and living space with desk and sofa adds size, comfort, and functionality to the room. Outside on the balcony is where privilege paid for itself. Premium room locations is one of the privilege perks, and my spot was perfect. Top floor, end of the property, with amazing views of the pool and beach. And because of Ocean Eden Bay's design, my room randomly had a double balcony. It was obnoxiously large, but the extra space provided extra privacy, which made sunsets and jacuzzi time a lot more enjoyable. And as far as last night, I'm not sure what to think. My main objective was drinks at the lobby bar, but getting one was impossible. The crowd heavily outnumbered the staff. Even a $100 tip would have been futile. My second objective was the candlelight music performance outside Senses, but nothing. So I went inside Senses to investigate, and I don't know what I saw. There wasn't anything on the activity calendar, and the place was almost empty, yet there seemed to be a Jamaican dance show in full swing. Utter confusion soon morphed into awkward anxiety, so I bolted over to Ocean Coral Spring as a last resort. The Michael Jackson show was ending at the main theater, and as people flowed outside, a reggae band played popular Jamaica anthems. As I walked back to my room, I saw the candlelight music performance was finally happening, so I strolled over, had a seat, and it was the perfect way to wind down my evening. I got down here, and whatever energy there was, it was completely evaporated. I think it was an event that ended, so now the pool is just kind of quiet. The clouds came in. It's about 2:30 right now, so I think to immediately flip this bad luck, I'm gonna head over to Marlin, hopefully get a crazy drink, and then I'm gonna head to the Privilege Lounge. They have lunch, dinner, and breakfast for Privilege members only, and lunch seems to be the best option. I'm so glad I went to Privilege. I can't wait to go there for dinner tomorrow night. I was going to go to Blue Moon tomorrow night, but it's not open then. It's only open tonight, and it is the best restaurant here. At least it was last time I visited. Dinner at Blue Moon is in the books, absolutely exponentially better than the steakhouse next door. You have to have the palate, you have to have the elevated sense for French food, but if you do, there's no comparison. It is indeed French in terms of the menu, in terms of the dishes, very authentic type of plates. The plates are very small, lots of different menu options. It's classy inside. I love the bronze motif. It's intimate, it's boutique. I had the same server I had about 18 months ago. She was even more lovely, made some great recommendations. I don't usually order like a whitefish, but it was a fantastic recommendation. Food came out instantly. I can't tell you what drinks I've been having. The bartenders don't tell you the drinks here. I've experienced that everywhere else in Jamaica. Must be in the culture, but the drink was delicious as well. So the clouds are coming in, surprise, surprise. This has been a challenging trip in terms of weather. Not complaining. Ocean Eden Bay, Ocean Coral Springs, Jamaica. This is the life. But in terms of weather and sunshine, this specific stay has been a challenge. So we definitely got some sunshine for the beach. So you got to see it, I think, in its best form. For Montego Bay, Falmouth, Runaway Bay, Ocho Rios, it's actually not that bad. Lots of different seating. If you're in the privileged section, you do have the best of the overall area. Cabanas, day beds, wait staff. The water is crystal clear, and because it is a cove, the waves are super soft and gentle. If you want to get your toes in the sand or your feet in the water and have a quintessential Jamaican or Caribbean experience, you can do that. But in terms of the property, this is definitely a pool first place. But as of right now, I'm right outside the Privilege Club at Coral Springs. There's one at Eden Bay, there's one at Coral Springs. I will save the one at Coral Springs more so for the next video, but I must go in there and do something. If I do not, my inner existence, my inner fabric will not be at peace. It's something I'm compelled to do, and I'll explain more later. All right, evening is here. My last evening at Ocean Eden Bay. The sunset was spectacular tonight. Enchanting. One of the best I've seen in the Caribbean ever. Just a silver lining for the bad weather that I've had throughout this trip. A little bit of a consolation prize. So the reason I had to go into the Coral Springs Privilege Club is because Danette. She is one of my favorite people on the planet, and it's because what she did for me last time I was here. I walked in that Privilege Lounge over at Coral Springs, and they had Red Stripe Light on tap. I like Red Stripe, and I love Red Stripe Light, and where I'm from, it's a unicorn. You never see it. And I asked for one, and they were out. They're still out to this day. They haven't refilled it since. I think it's basically just for aesthetic purposes only. And she saw the sheer disappointment, the utter dissatisfaction in my soul. And the next day I walked in and she had 2 ice cold bottles of Red Stripe Light waiting for me. She had no idea I was coming back in. She had no clue who I was, just a random stranger customer. And she went out of her way to buy those out of her own money and have them waiting for me just in case I walked in. We're talking about a lady who takes 1 bus and 2 taxis to work every single day. And it just shows her consummate professionalism, her utter good nature, just her sheer awesomeness as a human being. It is one of the most touching customer service experiences I've ever had at any hotel, right up there with my one at Live Aqua Punta Cana. So Danette will forever be remembered in my heart. She is an amazing individual. And if you're over on the Coral Springs side, make sure you go over to Privilege and say hello. She is a tremendous person. And of course, a fantastic bartender. I'm starting to think that Privilege is where it's at. Things have changed a little bit since I've been here. So tonight I'm going back down to the Eden Bay Privilege side. I think it's the only restaurant I have left. Marlin, I think, is permanently closed. It was never that good to begin with, and I think everyone knows that. The lights are off, so my only option left is the Eden Bay Privilege Lounge. It is for privileged guests only. The menu looks pretty good, and then after that we will see. I can see what management is doing. They're working more towards the upsell, more towards the premium products. They're putting more emphasis on privilege. And that's why some other things have been a little different since I've been here last, which I'll explain later. But that dinner was legitimate. That lamb for this property, this price, it was excellent. I'm actually gonna pop back in there right now for some drinks. The drink menu looked extraordinary. There were 3 different sections. I'm thinking 1 off each one. Those drinks were phenomenal. Those drinks were fantastic. Those drinks were filling. They were filthy rich. They were decadent. I definitely pulled off the hat trick, 1 from each category. The last one was my favorite. It was by far the most potent, but also the most crisp and refreshing, which is a dangerous, dangerous concoction. I pulled off the hat trick there, and I think I'm going to pull off the hat trick tonight. I'm thinking lobby bar. I am thinking sports bar, and I'm thinking nightclub. So it turns out that getting drinks at the lobby bar is just making friends, just like sidling up and being part of the crew. The bartenders seem to be just building Legos of shots, and if you make friends or sidle up, you're gonna get in on the action. The drinks were tantalizing both in taste and in name. Overall, a little bit better staff than the other night. Good vibes, cool people. So off to the sports bar and then the nightclub. I was told that Red Stripe Light did not exist on this resort anymore, but au contraire, I found it at the sports bar. When I was at that sports bar, by the way, fun fact, last year, I was the oldest person in there ×2. In fact, I'm sure that like some of the people in there should not have been in there. But today was more of, I think, a prototypical and actual experience. It was laid back, table games kind of more towards the rear, sports on TV in the front. More than beers, there were cocktails. Actually had like a mixology menu on it. Bartender was super fun. I had an actual Incredible Hulk drink and of course the mythical Red Stripe Light. So feeling good, flying high. The hat trick will happen. I'm off to the nightclub to finish the night. When it comes to a nightclub, besides aesthetics, is there good music? Is there a good DJ? Is it easy to get a drink? Are the drinks decent? Is the crowd having fun? Is it a comfortable environment? And just the overall experience. And last night was yes, 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 and yes. It wasn't the most packed. It certainly wasn't the most beautiful, but it was the place where I spent most of my evening, and I'm really glad I did so. All right, let's wrap up this video. Ocean Eden Bay, 3 negatives, 3 positives, my overall rating of the property. How have the changes from just 18 months ago affected the experience there? I sensed that something was off the second I walked in. Just call it intuition, call it gut feeling, call it doing this a million times, but I could tell the staff was not as enthusiastic. They were a bit more reserved. The excitement wasn't there. It wasn't the palpable energy I experienced walking into the lobby the first time. Management changes aren't fun for anybody, management, the employees, or the customers. I'll touch on this later, but the employees still were smiling. The service overall was satisfactory, but there were cutbacks. First of all, in terms of in-room dining, the litany of options that existed just last year, gone. There's only a handful of things to choose from, and of those handful of things, maybe 6, 8 items, you are limited to 3 per order. And if you think you're gonna skirt the system and hack it by just placing another order right away, no, you are literally on timeout. So room service drastically cut back, and not just in selection, but also in proportion sizes, quality, and just experience. It was delivered to your door via DoorDash, and I felt like it was more of like a military MRE than it was a resort in-room dining experience. Also, in terms of cutback, Marlin, the restaurant that's right next to the Ocean Eden Bay pool, that was completely closed. And that was a critical part of my stay last time because that was the 24-hour food option. Sometimes you want to eat at 11, 2, 4 a.m., and that was the spot to do it. Ocean properties usually always have one, and they still do. They just completely cut the one on the adult side. And if you want to go get something late night, you have to travel all the way over to the family property. Last and most importantly, one of my favorite experiences, if not my favorite experience from last time, was the dinner and a show. They bring you into the auditorium and it's a Bob Marley show, and they give you like a 5-course meal, and it was completely free. The reservation was hard to get, but if you got in line and were able to secure it, it was a fantastic memory, and I can't recommend it enough. They still have it, but now I think it's $50 or $55. When it was free, it was such an unbelievable perk. But for $55, it's an absolute no-go. I was so disappointed that they cut that out because I really wanted to show it to you. As I've mentioned throughout the video, I have spent considerable time on both of these properties, the family side, Coral Springs and Eden Bay. In this video, I tried to focus just on Eden Bay because I want to go back to Coral Springs to do a dedicated video. And while I was just focusing on Eden Bay and staying there for the 4 nights, I realized how limited it was in terms of options, entertainment, and how reliant it was upon Coral Springs. Some of the best restaurants are over on the Coral Springs side. Technically, the sports bar and the nightclub are over on the Coral Springs side. The coffee shop, the pool, which is arguably just as good, if not better, the jerk chicken hut, the entertainment. A lot of the options, many of them enhanced, are over on the Coral Springs side, and I think that really detracts from what's supposed to be an adult-only experience. And lastly, number 3, going back to my original point, just the overall vibe, the experience, the feel was off. It was nothing like how it was 18 months ago. When I went there before, the crowd was excited, jubilant. The overall feeling of fun was palpable, and this time that wasn't so. So those are the negatives. What about the positives? The first one, like any ocean property, the value is insane. It's right up there, if not even better than what you get with the RIU. Remember, price is what you pay, value is what you get, and that's measured in the value proposition. The value proposition for these ocean properties, it's just phenomenal. Compared to RIU, the rooms are bigger and better, the property is more polished, the food is more delicious, there's a lot more options. And although I think that Eden Bay is too heavily reliant on the neighboring Coral Springs side for a lot of the activity, the restaurants, the entertainment, just the experience, I think it is a benefit to have access to that property. You can go over there, explore some restaurants, some venues, kind of try something different, break up the monotony of the resort, and then come back to your solace or your sanctity of adults only. So the fact that you do have access to both properties is indeed a positive. And lastly, just high level, this is the most refined, polished, upscale, luxurious ocean property I have witnessed up until this point. Originally, I had it rated as a 5, which is right up there with Excellence. Taking into account the value proposition and everything you get, my experience last time, that score was more than justified. But fast forward a little over a year, a lot has changed. The fabric, the DNA, the essence, the aura of the property, it's still there. And depending on the weekend, you might be able to recreate the same experience I had about 18 months ago. But as of right now, considering the management changes, the cutbacks, and just the overall feel of the property, a 5 it is no more. I'm lowering my score for Ocean Eden Bay, Jamaica to a 4.